The Handmaid's Tale is an American dystopian television series created by Bruce Miller, television writer of Eureka and The 100, based on the 1985 Margaret Atwood novel of the same name. The Handmaid's Tale premiered on the Hulu platform on April 26, 2017, consisting of one season with 10 45 to 60-minute episodes. Taking place in postmodern United States after a nuclear civil war, the series focuses on Offred, one of the few women who could still bear children after sexually transmitted diseases decreased fertility rates during the war. Offred was taken to be a handmaid under the control of Fred Waterford, a commander of the new corrupt government Gilead. Handmaids such as Offred suffered from the worst of punishments for the tiniest mistakes, and they were forced without consent to have children with their masters. Offred can remember the days when she was free and could be with her family, but she knows she must subject to Waterford if she wants to have a chance to be free once again. The multitude of parallels to African American slavery in The Handmaid's Tale are particularly of interest. Although fertile women are being enslaved rather than African Americans, the women are being treated almost exactly how African Americans were. For example, in the first episode, one of the handmaids is cattle branded and shocked as a result of being defiant, just like many African Americans were in the past. In addition, another scene in the first episode depicts the handmaids being brainwashed and forced to turn against each other, just as slaves were brainwashed and divided. Finally, Offred remembers her daughter, who was taken away from her and often has memories of being with her. In fact, her daughter is her main motivation for her efforts to be free, just as slaves were often motivated to work toward freedom by the thoughts of their families. These events pose the major question: is The Handmaid's Tale uncovering the veil for events that are currently happening or could happen soon in modern American society? I believe it may be, which directly ties into the course theme, Afterlives of Slavery. Many of the articles I read while I was researching suggested that this series could be applied to the 2016 presidential election and Donald Trump's views and opinions of women, along with the powerful groups such as the KKK. I will expand on these examples in my encyclopedia entry. I think that researchers, historians, and casual readers alike would be interested in my entry, since it would allow each of these groups to gain a deeper understanding of the effects and emotional impact of slavery through an interesting, eye-catching modern situation. The fact that this series takes place near the present helps many to empathize with the adversity that many African Americans face to an even deeper extent and relate it to modern-day events. This deeper understanding would in turn allow researchers to publish more accurate results and ask more specific questions for their research, spreading better information to other scholars and the masses. Specifically, the series shows slavery's implications in the present day clearly in an interesting, emotionally driven manner. I will begin the project by watching each of the 10 episodes of The Handmaid's Tale, pacing myself to 1 or 2 episodes per day so as to finish the first season by the end of next week, October 20th. Next, I will examine all the research articles that I found for my annotated bibliography, and find connections between the article, the course theme, and The Handmaid's Tale. After this step is complete, I will continue to draft my encyclopedia essay according to the instructions on the assignment sheet. I plan on pulling specific scenes from multiple episodes in the series to include in my entry, so that much of the series is encapsulated in my entry. One problem I have run into thus far is finding sufficient sources regarding the series, since it is so new. I have begun to solve this problem by finding sources that regard the novel and drawing connections between the novel and the series. Another issue is that narrowing my topic to discuss only 1 or 2 major themes will be difficult, since there are so many strong ideas depicted in the series. As a solution, I will choose which themes I want to focus on once I complete the first season, so I know how the themes develop throughout the season. I believe that I am well equipped and prepared to write a strong encyclopedia essay discussing the relevance of The Handmaid's Tale to our course theme, as I will have done adequate research on the topic, and I have experience watching and analyzing television series from my casual viewing. With some effort, time, and research, I will be able to compose an exceptional encyclopedia entry that will please both researchers and the masses.